Report from the Battle of Robots. World News. Cash online apparatus. Drones help to help. Tech Control searching for services app. The Kazakhstan News. In Almaty, under the screams breaking completely and the pieces of plastic and iron flying in all directions, the Battle of the Robots Living Steel was held. This is a grandiose show, a tournament between combat vehicles on remote control. The creators endowed them with the most frightening weapons, capable of damaging and destroying any opponent. Such tasks were given to the participants of the competition. The story begins in 1995 in the UK. Then the United States began to hold this kind of competition, and for 3 years already they are being organized in Russia and in China. Later, this kind of competition was held in the USA. For the last 3 years, it has been organized in Russia. This year, China and Russia competed. There was also a battle. Well, now we have joined them. 4 teams registered in the championship, and despite the fact that the bouts were indicative, the requirements for the droids were the most serious. Weight up to 85 kilograms, length and width 1 meter per meter. The mini-bot gremlin of the team, AMBS MCC, ideally suited to these parameters and could easily raise on the hindmost small subcompact. A robot is a toy, of course, but to make this toy is tough. You won't find this toy in a simple store. We have to invent a lot of things and create. It takes a lot of time and you need a lot of knowledge and skills. Here you can gather a very good team of specialists from different technical fields and then compete among the experts and to check skills and tricks of each other. High-tech materials and latest developments. No, all that can be collected in the attic are to be bought at the sale. That's what went into action. So the Gremlin building was welded from the usual steel corner, which was gathering dust in the garage. But as is known, not hardware wins, but engineering thought. But it is a well-known fact. Therefore, on the battlefield, the dimensions do not play a big role. Agility and a huge axe made of alloy steel punching armor like cardboard can finish the fight in a matter of minutes.
Он достаточно прочный. То есть его не просто сломать, а потом...
It is strong enough. It is not easy to break it. All the construction is made so that the enemy can't touch the most important parts and elements of the robot.
Необходимым элементом данного робота, просто не подберется. Ну и мощное оружие, которое способно поднять в районе тонны.
In addition to the steel case, Gremlin was equipped with multi-channel radio electronics. Each of its wheels was controlled separately. In addition, a special buttons set in motion an axe. We hope to hold them at least once a year in the same format. That is, on an ongoing basis, that there would be championships. We hope in the future there will be more teams and the championships will be full. According to the organizers' expectations, the next tournament, Living Steel, will become more spectacular. A great number of participants, weight to 100 kilograms, and new types of weapons will do their job. And finally, dozens of one-fights will determine the winner, who will have to compete with other experienced mini-bots in international competitions. DD Chuxing, the largest Chinese service to order trips on demand, raised $5.5 billion. Thus, the project from China was the second most cost-effective startup in the world after its American competitor, Uber, which moreover is increasingly faced with massive claims about its attitude to fellow drivers and aggressive business strategy. Taking into account the new investment round, the total amount of funding attracted by DD amounted to $13 billion, while Uber attracted $4 billion less for all time. Browser assets based on the Brave blockbuster were sold for $35 million in 24 seconds. Digital means were purchased by 130 users, while one of them made a deal for 20,000 Aether, which is equivalent to $4.7 million. The funds received will be used to attract new employees to the company, as well as to provide users with a stake in Tekken. Since January 1st, 2017, all Kazakhstani businessmen are obliged to purchase cash registers with the transfer of data to the tax committee. The introduction of such a system will significantly reduce the shadow turnover of funds, as well as protect the rights of consumers. Taking into account the current trends in the digital economy, startups from Almaty have developed the Smart Online CMC, a mobile application that turns a smartphone into a cash register.
Основной наш клиент – это предприниматели, у которых есть доставка, например.
Our main client is businessmen who have delivery, for example, or some small point, a boutique. Even figuratively speaking, a container on the flea market where you need this equipment, but there is no way to put a large stationary cash register, a laptop that takes up space and is expensive, let's say for an entrepreneur. The average price for CMC in the Republic is 65,000 tenge. Domestic solutions are cheaper by 30%. And to use it, you need to install a mobile application, purchase a license key, and activate it from the dealer. Then, within 15 minutes, the entrepreneur automatically connects to the State Revenue Committee's database. The share of the Kazakh content is 100%. We do from code to connection all services, all products, all manufactured in Kazakhstan. Therefore, we have the inscription, Made in Kazakhstan. The capacity of the market of cash registers in Kazakhstan is estimated at about 1 million units. This company expects to produce more than a third of its volume, releasing monthly up to 10,000 box solutions. The assembly takes place in the following way. That is, the printing house is provided with our boxes. Here, our guys cut them out, collect them, make inserts where it is necessary for the end customer. That is, instructions for use, the license itself. The application works in a tandem with a Bluetooth printer receipts right away. The system works like this: data from VPN sent online to the operator's server, where the final receipt is receiving its Unicor serial number. After that, the system is sending the number back to the application, and as a result, a printed receipt. Communicated via Bluetooth, the second communication channel that is through which it connects. This is the VPN channel. It directly connects to the servers of Kazakh Telecom, the operator of fiscal data, the CRF abbreviated. In turn, the operator of fiscal data on a periodic basis transmits daily summing reports for each cash register to the server of the authorized body. We want to help the Republic. Now we're entering the Digital Kazakhstan program according to the President's message to join the top 30 world leaders. Our mission is to help small and medium-sized businesses. Recently, Kazakhstan's Smart Online CCM was included in the register of the State Revenue Committee. This means that now the system works officially in the Republic, and startups can start implementing the first 300 orders, which were issued before the official launch of the project. Aviation in agriculture is an irreplaceable thing. Without it, the struggle against pests and diseases of cultivated plants would turn into a battle with windmills. However, not all farmers can afford the corn services. One flight of a small aircraft costs at least 500,000 tenge. With these funds, you can organize 10 launches of a 4-rotor helicopter, which is better known as a quadrupter. The agrarian sector is now developing, requiring technological intervention, and we're trying to introduce the use of drones specifically by farmers, which helps them optimize their resources and increase their productivity. Flyworks is the first Kazakhstani company that specialized in remote sensing using unmanned aerial vehicles. The team members, and there are only 4 of them, yet take their business seriously and consider that the startup has a greater future. Therefore, in addition to agriculture, our heroes are mastering other spheres, in particular, mapping and eco-monitoring of the terrain. We turn on the drone, create the flight plan first, define the points, coordinate. After that, the drone flies, making shots, and we upload all these photos and then load into the Pixity program. In remote sensing of the soil, powerful and expensive drones are used. For example, this survey was conducted by a heavy American helicopter, Mattress 600. Its cost is $20,000. In total, in the arsenal of our heroes, about 10 copters. They spent $250,000 of sponsorship from the Eurasian University of Technology. The Firefly drone is very interesting and differs in that it can take off vertically and fly horizontally. That is, roughly speaking, it takes off like a copter but flies like an airplane. Unmanned aerial vehicles come in a disassembled form. Then they are collected and modified depending on the technical tasks assigned to these devices. Now we are surveying the Alatau district of the city, where we work with the land committee, where we use the Matrix 100, since this is a very convenient drone for urban surveys. Also, it is very mobile and very compact, while the charge of its battery allows you to remove one battery in the area of 50 to 60 hectares. For the squares, it is quite a lot.
50-60 гектар для квадрокоптеров это достаточно много.
In addition to its purpose, drones differ in several parameters. This is the size, speed of movement, duration of charge, and video equipment. For example, multispectral and thermal imaging cameras are installed in such quadcopters. With their help, it is possible to estimate the vegetative vegetation on the field, and in this capacity, with the zoom, you can see everything, down to the bug on the stem. Sometimes, even physically, we do not have the time to leave here and there, and sometimes many orders so burn out because there's a shortage of human resources. I would like now to find new pilots, train them, and in the future open a couple of offices in other regions. This is not the end of the plans for the Almaty startups. Beginning entrepreneurs want to scale their projects to neighboring markets. For example, in Russia, where 10% of the world's arable land is concentrated, and our northern neighbor needs the services of cheap, unmanned vehicles no less than Kazakhstan. Facilitator literally means intermediary. This person is responsible for compliance with the regulations of events, who supports a positive attitude in the group. An example of use: at each startup gathering there must be a facilitator with good skills of storytelling. Rasul Mashurov, Director of Business Incubator. Work experience in promotion and development of startup projects. Specialization: IT, FinTech. Review for the startup: Re1 searching for services app.
Существует проблема ментальности. Более взрослое поколение, ну скажем так.
There is a problem of mentality. I don't think that a person whose age is over 30 would use the application. Why? Because of their state of mind. Older people won't break their habits, but the younger generation is living in the internet. They're always on the phone or with their laptops, and they're ready to do everything through the internet. It is perfect for them.
Работают с телефоном, с компьютерами, и все готовы делать через интернет. Для них это было бы просто идеально.
In fact, the project is quite simple. It's a mobile application on Android or on iOS. It's not that hard to do. It is much more difficult to work with people. That is, you need to negotiate with a huge number of beauty salons, with a huge number of medical institutions, so that they provide their services through this mobile application. This is much more complicated. Plus high-quality content, so that it would be interesting for a person to reserve places in a beauty salon or in a medical institution. You need to make a lot of good photos, write a huge number of good posts, very competently and very clearly describe the activities of a particular company. The application itself is quite simple. That is, it does not require huge work to develop such an application. The evaluation logic is presented in this mobile application. That is, you can evaluate as a beauty salon, medical institutions in general, and an individual worker, a separate master. You can write a review, you can write a star rating, evaluate and show the future to potential customers how much this salon or how much this master is good or bad. According to preliminary calculations, the guys need 10 million tenge for the start. This is for the creation of the Android version and the iOS version, the overall design, and a specific service where all this logic booking will take place, and so on. The money turns out to be quite realistic. The payback of the project comes in the first 6 months. At fulfilling products, the return on the project comes in the first 6 months.
Окупаемость проекта приходит в первые полгода. На рынке СНГ, насколько мы проводили исследования...
In the CIS market, as far as we conducted research, there were no similar applications. There were similar ones, but they work a little bit different according to another scheme. That is exactly the logic of monetization. Such logic does not have reservations for places on the territory of the CIS. It is definitely necessary to go to the Russian market and enter the Uzbek market.
Попробовать захватить рынок России, возможно, выйти на рынок Узбекистана.
In Kazakhstan, a new kind of sport arises, drone racing. It is a colorful and exciting race of multicopters which are controlled manually or with the help of virtual reality glasses. Given the popularity of this direction, the first school of drone racing in Kazakhstan was opened in the southern region of the Republic. Recently, the Almaty Tech Garden held its third Demo Fest. As part of this event, the beginning Kazakh start-uppers had the opportunity to demonstrate their projects to mentors, investors, and journalists. Our correspondents also visited the event. Therefore, you will learn about the Demo Fest and drone racing in Kazakhstan in our next program.